Hello and welcome. We are learning AWS Gateway Load Balancer. In the previous video, we have discussed about what is ingress routing. Why we are talking about ingress routing? Because the use case why we need Gateway Load Balancer is actually started from the ingress routing process. And we are learning using the same process. As we have discussed earlier and also implemented ingress routing, you understand that suppose if someone is going to send data to my web servers, even it is having a public IP, let's say that if the web server having IP 1.1.1 and 2.2.2, okay, when you will send traffic to that particular server 1 or 2, the data will be inserted from the internet gateway. Now because of ingress routing, data will not forwarded directly to this server. The data will pass through this security appliances. Security appliance can be third party, Palo Alto or any other companies. It will verify that the packet is actually legitimate, packet inspection and everything will happen over here, and then it will forward the traffic. Let's say that if it is for 1.1.1, it will forward the traffic to 1.1.1, or if it is for 2.2, it will forward the traffic 2.2.2. Security appliance is transparent. It is not going to modify your packet or anything. There is no need to change or modify packets. It will work transparently. User will open the website by using the public IP, but all the data will travel through this security appliance. And we already verified this yesterday. Now the problem is, what if this security appliance goes down? Yesterday I powered up this security appliance and now I am not able to access any servers. So now what happened? Security appliance is actually the main entrance. Now if your entrance is closed, means everything is closed. If you have any number of servers, all the servers are not accessible now because your security appliance is down. So we have to have multiple security appliance into the multiple availability zone. It means in your company you have 2 security appliance because of the high availability, and it is running into the 2 different availability zone. So now the problem is, when you will get the traffic, how you will load balance the traffic between security appliance. Okay. Second thing is, all your incoming traffic is actually traveling through the security appliance. Now let's say that if there is a lots of traffic coming to your servers or your company's application because you are getting popularity, now what happened if this security appliance are not able to handle this traffic? Because that you have only one security appliance. In this case, you are going to set up auto scaling for them. You can increase more number of security appliances. Again, if you are going to increase security appliances, if you are going to increase number of security appliances, how you can load balance the traffic in between them? So in this case, actually gateway load balancer comes into the picture. Gateway load balancer is not normal load balancer, which is load balancing the traffic between 2 application servers or web servers. No. Gateway load balancer is actually taking care of multiple security appliances. It is actually load balancing the traffic between multiple security appliances. It is taking care about high availability of security appliance. So this is like the main difference between our normal application load balancer and application network load balancer and gateway load balancer. Okay. Now here I have one picture, and in this picture we are going to, like how we are going to deploy load balancer. Okay. So this is a final picture. We are going to set up the whole scenario like this. Okay. This will be our implementation, and we are going to implement actually the same as we have in the picture. Okay, we are going to perform lab about this, so don't worry, but first understand the concept. Now if you look at the picture over here, okay, I have two components in the, one second. If you look at the picture, I have two components for the load balancer. The first component is gateway load balancer itself, and another component is gateway load balancer endpoint. Okay. Now here we have to understand that when you configure load balancer, okay, when you configure gateway load balancer don't have any URL. Gateway load balancer don't have any IP address. You know, when we have created application load balancer, we found that application load balancer having a public IP like a URL, and we are accessing this using URL. Also same we have for the network load balancer, but gateway load balancer don't have this. So how you can send traffic, how communication will happen with gateway load balancer? So for this we have gateway load balancer endpoint. Don't worry about how we are going to create this and how it is going to work, how we will create. Don't worry about the practical. Just understand the concept. So gateway load balancer endpoint is actually communication system. You can say that gateway load balancer endpoint is like an assistant of the gateway load balancer. You cannot directly communicate with this gateway load balancer. Okay, you have to talk with the assistant. Let's say that if you want to send the data to, if someone is going to send the data to this server, okay, first of all data will come from here, then it will go to the gateway load balancer endpoint using the ingress routing. Then this will say that okay, I am going to send this data to my boss. Then it will send it to this particular gateway load balancer. Then it will send it to any of the security appliance. Security appliance will answer them. Then it will say that okay, send it to the server 1. Now when we will send reply, okay, again server 2 will send this data. Sorry, my bad. Server 2 will send this data to gateway load balancer endpoint, because you cannot directly contact with the boss. Okay, so server 2 will send this data to gateway load balancer endpoint. Sorry, it will send it to the gateway load balancer endpoint. Again it will send it to the boss. Boss will send it to the security appliance, and it will verify that okay, now then it will send it to the outside. Okay, so this is how the communication will happen. And here we have mainly two components. The one we have is gateway load balancer endpoint and gateway load balancer itself. Now if you look at this design carefully, you will find that here I have two VPC. Look at this. This is service consumer VPC and this is service provider VPC. So question is, why you have two VPC? Can we set up all this into the single VPC? Definitely we can set up this. But AWS is actually very smart. The way they implemented gateway load balancer is actually awesome. I don't want to make a very simple lab, so you guys can understand how the system is working, but you never ever understand the use case. The use case of gateway load balancer is actually huge. And to understand this huge use case, we have to set up two VPC. According to the AWS, you should set up a special service provider VPC in which you will set up your gateway load balancer and also your security appliance. Why? Because if you have multiple VPC in your company. Let's say that you have multiple VPC. Here I have only one service consumer VPC, but let's say that if you have 2, 3, 4 consumer VPC, you do not need to set up gateway load balancer in each and every VPC. You do not need to set up security appliance for each and every VPC. Let's say that if I have 5 VPC in my company, because the maximum limit is 5 in per region, right? Now, if I'm not going to set up this kind of design, for each VPC, I have to set up security appliance, I have to set up gateway load balancer. And it will be very expensive. So, what is the idea about this design? Okay, the idea is, hi, I'm Bhavesh Atara from CloudFolks HUB. To watch full video, please visit our website learn.bhaveshatara.live or CloudFolks HUB Android and iOS app. We are going to upload full video daily on our portal. You can visit our portal and you can enroll to our 100 days challenge course. Right now, for first 1000 students, for India, it is just 499 rupees fees, and for abroad, you just need to pay only 7 USD. We are going to upload daily full videos over there, and this challenge will be continued for 240 days. Thank you very much. See you inside the app. Goodbye.